Welcome. You are listening Radio Central News. I am Vikrant Dogra and now news in detail. Education Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank on Thursday announced the government has decided to extend the validity period of teachers' eligibility test TET qualifying certificate from 7 years to lifetime with retrospective effect from 2011. The respective state governments and union territories UTs will take necessary action to revalidate and issue fresh TET certificates to those candidates whose period of 7 years has already elapsed, he added. Mr. Pokhriyal said this will be a positive step in increasing the employment opportunities for candidates aspiring to make a career in the teaching field. Validity period of teachers eligibility test TET qualifying certificate has been extended from 7 years to lifetime with retrospective effect from 2011, the minister said in a tweet. Teacher's eligibility test qualifying certificate is one of the essential qualifications for a person to be eligible for appointment as a teacher in schools. The guidelines dated February 11, 2011 of National Council for Teacher Education (NCTE) laid down that TET would be conducted by the state governments and the validity of the TET certificate was 7 years from the date of passing TET. India will leverage its strengths and capacities, focusing on newer technologies and knowledge driven opportunities to deal with challenges thrown up by the COVID-19 pandemic, Foreign Secretary Harshvardhan Shringla said on Thursday, saying that every crisis, empirically speaking, is followed by growth. He said India also will participate fully in the international process of regeneration through building newer and more resilient supply chains. Going forward, we will participate in the process of creating global scale capacities that are needed to deal with pandemic scale challenge. India is working with several other countries in the World Trade Organization on a targeted and temporary waiver of patents to ensure timely and secure access to vaccines for all. We are also looking forward to WHO's approval for India's indigenous vaccine manufactured by Bharat Biotech. The Foreign Secretary said that the so-called global system was seen as inadequate to the challenges posed by the pandemic. He said India is a part of the discussions with major vaccine manufacturers like Pfizer, Johnson and Johnson and Moderna about sourcing and possible local manufacturing of their vaccines in the country. In the US, Ambassador Taranjeet Singh Sandhu had talks with CEOs of top US pharma companies to help India get the required medical equipment and drugs to combat the COVID-19 pandemic. Donald Trump has permanently closed his blog, a web page where the former US president shared his fiery speeches and statements after being banned by social media giants including Facebook and Twitter. The page, titled From the Desk of Donald J. Trump, has been removed from Trump's website after going live less than a month earlier. The former president, who left office on January 20, indicating to run for the White House aging in 2024, has long accused social media giants, including Facebook and Twitter, where he had tens of millions of followers, of nursing a political bias and censoring conversations. After being banned by Twitter in January in an unpredictable move, Trump slammed the California based microblogging site, vowing that he had his support base would not be silenced. At the time of permanent suspension, Trump, who is now based in his resort in Florida, had 88.7 million followers and followed 51 people. Equity benchmark Sensex surged over 350 points in early trade on Thursday, tracking gains in index heavyweights Reliance Industries, HDFC, and Infosys amid a largely positive trend in global markets. The 30-share BSE index was trading 361.24 points or 0.70% higher at 52,210.72 in initial deals, and broader NSE Nifty jumped 100.25 points or 0.64% to 15,676.45. Titan was the top gainer in the Sensex pack, rising over 4%, followed by Reliance Industries, Power Grid, Kotak Bank, HDFC, ONGC, and Infosys. On the other hand, NTPC, Bajaj Auto, IndusInd Bank, Nestle India, Dr. Reddy's, SBI, and Sun Pharma were among the leaders. In the previous session, Sensex ended 85.4 0.40 points or 0.16% lower at 51,849.48, while Nifty inched up 1.35 points or 0.01% to 15,576.20. Foreign institutional investors were net buyers in the capital market as they purchased shares worth 921.10 crore on Wednesday, as per provisional exchange data. Domestic equities look to be good as of now. Increased optimism about economic recovery with continuous fall in daily caseload in second COVID wave and improvement in recovery rate has already led domestic equities to new highs, said Binod Modi, head strategy at Reliance Securities. Further, the beginning of gradual withdrawal of restrictions by states, which hints at improvement in economic indicators from the current month, also lifted market mood, he added. Elsewhere in Asia, bourses in Shanghai, Tokyo, and Seoul were trading in the positive territory in mid session deals, while Hong Kong was in the red. That is all for today's news bulletin. Stay tuned to Radio Central News for more updates.